Hi there, I'm Marcel and I'm here today on behalf of Astromatrix to talk to you about the Mars that is going to be retrograding through Aries on the 9th of September. But before I get into that, I'd just like to ask you please to like and subscribe to our channel. And we're very interested to hear your comments, what content you'd like us to create for you in the future. Right, so let's get started. So on the 9th of September, we have Mars that goes into a retrograde at 28 degrees, where it stays in retrograde motion until the November the 13th at 15 degrees. When it stations direct and starts moving forward, it stays in Mars until January the 6th, completing a 6-month cycle, which is a very, very long time to be in Mars. In fact, it hasn't been in retrograde in Mars, specifically in Aries, since August 1988. So it's very useful to check your chart and see what was happening during that period, because you'll find that there are similar themes happening for us now. The only difference is that this is much more intense because we have some really strong aspects that are happening with the Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter conjunction that's happening in Capricorn over the course of this retrograde. So let's just go give a little bit more information about this. Mars is a very assertive, driven, forward-moving, individual, pioneering planet. It's all about taking action. It's all about asserting self. It's very much about the individual. Alongside this, Mars, during this period, is going to be in a conjunction with Eris. And Eris is the dwarf planet and the goddess of discord. So these two together are really fighting for individuality and independence. And why is this important? Because we're coming up against the Pluto-Saturn-Jupiter conjunction that's happening in Capricorn, which represents the corruption of power on this planet through the government and the top-down heavy powers that are exploiting us. And so at some point during this retrograde, you may experience people taking to the streets and protesting against this. I digress. Let's go back to what a retrograde is. So a retrograde is when the planet starts going backwards. It's a period of review. It's a period of introspection. And so we can find ourselves asking very important questions such as, what am I doing? Where am I going? What is important for me? We may find ourselves second-guessing ourselves, especially because we've been in such a strong driving forward motion when Mars in Aries was moving forward. So when it starts retrograding, things start slowing down. And even though we feel this desire and momentum to move forward, it'll feel a little bit like having one foot on the accelerator and another foot on the brake, pushing us backwards. And so this may be heightened when we experience Mars on the 29th of September going into a square with Saturn at 25 degrees. And this is just after Saturn stations direct, having been in its own retrograde for such a long period. So again, this is a very, very potent time. And while for some of you it may hold the symbolism of Mars and Saturn in a conjunction or in a square where you are very constructive and are able to function and work really well, for others of you, you may feel a slight confusion and not able to fully move forward. And this is just asking you to surrender to the process and allow yourself to self-reflect on what has meaning for you and what is most important with where it is that you're taking your life, where it is that you're moving towards, and what it is that you're fighting for within your life, within yourself. It's also asking questions about how it is that you assert yourself, how it is that you take action, how it is that you work with or abuse power. And this will especially come into play when Mars comes into a square with Pluto on the 9th of October at 22 degrees. This will especially play out on the planet on a global level. And again, we may see people taking to the streets and protesting about the corruption of power that is happening. Because Pluto is all about power. Saturn is about responsibility, it's the restrictor. And Pluto is about power or power exploitation. So wherever it is that we have the cardinal signs of Libra, Aries, Cancer, or Capricorn within our chart, between 15 to 30 degrees, these areas will come into impact. These houses and any planets at those angles will get affected. So it's very, very helpful to check your chart and see where this is happening for you, because this is an actual event that's happening till the end of the year and ongoing. These are the areas of concentration for you that are coming up for review and for transformation. And so it's really crucial if you can allow yourself the time to self-reflect and really ask these deep questions, because change is coming and there's such potential for growth if you can open yourself up to the power of these intense planets. So as I mentioned, it's the conjunction of Mars with Eris as the individual versus inner square to Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter. So on the 18th of October at 19 degrees, we have Pluto and Jupiter in quite a close conjunction, and this comes into square with Mars in retrograde. And again, this is about exploitation of power, particularly around money. Jupiter does have the potential to be about big money. So how it is that the government is exploiting the money, exploiting the taxes, etc., where the money is being sent. These are big questions being asked. So I hope that sheds some light on what is coming up. It's as I mentioned, it's a very important period in our lives. It's really asking to develop self-awareness, especially when Mars goes in a square with Pluto, because this can be a period of intense disruption and power struggles. Before you lash out or respond to something, check in with yourself, slow down, and review. So with every single reading that I do, at the end of it, I always do a tarot reading on behalf of the collective, so we can get a better sense of what this retrograde is about. So I've shuffled the cards over here on behalf of the collective, and the reading is about what Mars in retrograde represents for us. So the first question that I'm asking is, where am I abusing power? And by I mean us as the planet. Where are we abusing power? And the next question that I'm asking is, where am I needing power? And so the next question is, where are we as the collective heading? And then lastly, what is Mars retrograde asking of me? Okay, so to answer the first question, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and this is all about review. So the question is, where am I abusing power? And that is for us as the collective during this Mars retrograde to review through our lives, to take stock of where we come and where we have come from and where it is that we're heading. What is working in our lives? What isn't working in our lives? It's really scrutinizing the finer details of how it is that we have been in our lives up until this point. And I can guarantee you that you will not be able to drive forward in the unconscious way that you have. There's going to be strong resistance, really calling you inwards to self-reflect. Then the next question is, where am I needing power? And we have the High Priestess, and she is all about the mystery. She's all about intuition and self-reflection and going inwards. It's about connecting to the divine. It's about connecting to something greater beyond our minds, beyond just our needs and our consumeristic lifestyles. Something greater, and this is where we're needing power, and this is how the review and the self-reflection will answer those questions. Then the next question is, where are we heading? And it's very beautiful because we have the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is about partnership. It's about union. It's about people coming together and sharing on this planet, community style as we used to. And don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that I'm an advocate for communities, because not everybody wants to live in a community or is community minded. But it is about how is it that you can bring more of you to community? How is it that you can share more of you with others, serving a bigger picture beyond just your own immediate surroundings or family or needs? And then the last card is, what is Mars in retrograde asking of me? And I've got the card of conflict and tension and chaos. And so it's about examining that. It's about examining the conflict, the tension on the planet. It's about moving through and meeting the shadow on the planet. And it has the potential to be a difficult time, but whatever is happening in the external is simply a mirror of our own internal world. And so whatever it is that you experience playing out there in the world, be sure to examine it on the inside as well. so that the shift and transformation can happen and you can reach a more peaceful place within yourself. So I hope that was helpful, and again, we're asking you please to leave comments as to what it is that you would like us to research and comment on and create videos of. And then thank you for watching, and again, please like and subscribe to our channel. Bye for now.